Viewers, Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov spoke today on Libya. He said LNA is ready to sign a truce, and we hope that Turkey will persuade GNA to sign the truce as well. Now, viewers, this statement of Russian Foreign Minister, I don't see this statement as a proposal or a request. I see this statement as a threat from Russia to Turkey. But before analyzing this statement of Russian Foreign Minister, uh, just a few words. Viewers, very strange turn of events in Libya. And credit must be given to Turkey. Turkey has turned the tables in Libya. If you remember, at the start of this year in Russia, Russian President Vladimir Putin was sitting, waiting for General Haftar to come. General Haftar was in Russia. Fayez Sarraj, Libyan Prime Minister, he was also waiting, sitting alongside Putin, Russian President, waiting for General Haftar to come and sign a ceasefire agreement. But General Haftar had left Russia. He did not want to sign a ceasefire agreement because back then LNA was in a stronger position. GNA was begging for a truce, but LNA did not want to sign a ceasefire agreement. Then, viewers, Berlin conference was going on, and General Haftar launched its offensive for Tripoli. World powers were trying to find a solution to Libyan conflict, but General Haftar was trying to conquer Tripoli. He did not want to sign a ceasefire back then because back then he was in Western Libya, he had Eastern Libya under his control, and he was deep into Western Libya. He was very close to capturing Tripoli. Suddenly, Turkey came, viewers. Everything was changed, viewers. Whole of Western Libya is out of Haftar's hands. Eastern Libya, Central Libya, Sirte, Al Jufra, Turkey and GNA, they are saying that they will launch an offensive for Sirte and Al Jufra. So now LNA and Haftar, they are trying their best to save Central and Eastern Libya, let alone Western Libya. Now they are begging for ceasefire. That is what we are hearing from the LNA, that they want a ceasefire. So strange turn of events, and credit must be given to Turkey, viewers. Whether or not you are a supporter of Turkey, this credit must be given to Turkey that it changed the balance in Libya. Now LNA wants a ceasefire and GNA is deciding what to do. Now with the statement of Lavrov, Russian foreign minister. Well, this statement came after Al-Watiya airstrikes. Al-Watiya was hit, very badly hit. Turkish air defense systems, they were damaged there. And so far, Turkey hasn't been able to name the country which is behind these airstrikes. Now, suddenly, Russia is sending this message of ceasefire. What does it mean? It means, viewers, that Russia is saying that if you don't sign a ceasefire, forget about Sirte and Al Jufra, we'll launch an offensive into Western Libya as well. We won't let you take control of Misrata as your naval port. We won't let you take control of Al-Watiya as your airbase. We will relaunch our offensive in Western Libya. So forget about Sirte and Al Jufra. Persuade GNA to sign a ceasefire agreement. That is what I think Lavrov is saying. It is not a proposal, not a request, but it is a threat for Turkey to persuade GNA to sign a ceasefire agreement. Now, viewers, bigger powers want bigger shares. There is no doubt about that. There is no question about that. Russians, they are stronger than Turks. Russia is a much stronger country than Turkey. So if Russia is in Libya, they do not want to be in a weak position. If Sirte and Al Jufra is lost, Russia will be in a much weaker position in Libya and Turkey will be stronger here. But if Sirte and Al Jufra are under the control of LNA and Turkey is confined to Western Libya up to Misrata, it means that Russia will have an advantage over Turkey. That is what Russia wants in Libya, viewers. It wants to have this edge over Turkey. Other players, France, Egypt, and UAE, they don't have any ground presence in Libya. They don't have any their forces in Libya. It is Russia primarily backing Haftar. It has its Wagner fighters there. And Turkey, it has also its presence there, its troops there, its advisors there. So it is a competition, it is a contest between Turkey and Russia. Bigger powers want bigger shares. That is what Lavrov is saying, viewers, that we have a bigger share right now. We want to keep it. Don't try to take it away from us. Persuade GNA to sign a ceasefire agreement. If you don't make them sign a ceasefire agreement, we will disturb all your strategic plans. So now, viewers, this relationship between Turkey and Russia, it is very complex. I mean, they are in touch at the highest level, from the highest to the lowest level. But sometimes they are at the brink of a war. And Russians, they never show their real intentions to Turkey, I think. Turkey is much more open and transparent about what it is doing. But Russians, they are not that open, I think. They keep their cards holding close to their chest, I think. And somehow they make Turkey do what they want it to do. We saw that in Syria, viewers. They are conducting joint patrols there. They somehow signed a ceasefire agreement on 5th of March there. And Russia was in stronger position when the ceasefire agreement in Idlib was signed. Russians, they did not suffer any casualties in Syria. Yes, they suffered losses to their equipment, but they know how to recover those losses. Turkey suffered much more, I think, viewers, in terms of losses to its military equipment, financial losses, and casualties as well. Same is the case here, viewers. Turkey is suffering much more than Russia. So bigger powers, they want bigger shares with less risks. That is their universal strategy. No, ball is in the court of Turkey, viewers. How Turkey responds to this statement of Russian foreign minister. We'll see in the coming days about the reaction of Turkey. This is not the first time that we are hearing this call for ceasefire from Russia, viewers. Russia has called for ceasefire several times since LNA forces withdrew from Trafona and Bani Walid towards Sirte. Other countries like France, Italy, the USA, Arab countries, Arab League, Egypt, UAE, all the backers of Haftar and other countries of the EU and the USA as well, they have spoken in favor of the ceasefire. Egypt went to the extent of offering a solution in the form of Cairo Declaration. So several countries have been calling for the ceasefire, but so far Turkey and GNA, they have been vowing to go ahead with their Sirte and Al Jufra offensives. What will they do now after these Watiya strikes? Will they change their stance? Will these airstrikes make them review their strategy regarding Sirte and Al Jufra offensives, or they'll stick with their policy of pressing ahead with offensive for Sirte and Al Jufra? So far, no decisive move from Turkey and GNA regarding the Sirte and Al Jufra offensives. Yes, they are piling up weapons, both the sides, but no decisive move from Turkey so far. Now, let's wait and see reaction of Turkey, response of Turkey to this announcement, to this proposal by Lavrov regarding ceasefire in Libya. Thank you for watching.